We have two main arms to the business. One is home decor fulfillment, which is like the manufacturing company, fully separated business. And then we have A3 brands, which is like all of our e-commerce brands. We have like this amazing e-commerce team at the helm of A3 brands. We have a head of growth that manages mainly paid acquisition, Meta, TikTok, etc., but also leads the retention team. We have a creative team as well that is like only making performance ad content all the time. We pretty much had 16 people in that e-commerce team. Moving into this year, I mean, I think we like slowed down a bit. There was a lot of overhead that we had. We reevaluated. And so we actually cut that team in half. And now it's just 8 of like stone cold killers.
Yeah.
Right. And they're amazing at what they do and they get like the job done. So we usually take that two-pronged process where it's like, okay, you create the product, do a simple launch with paid ads. If it's showing a break-even potential, that's when you really double down on it and you scale it up. So that's how we went about it. I think organic social for this brand in particular was super, super effective. We had a viral video on TikTok, I think, and you'll see we have like a few 100,000 followers and like on that page. And so we had a viral video happen that resulted in like 80,000 in organic revenue. And so at that point it was like, yeah, this is such a like obvious winner
Right.
that we need to double down on.
It's like the market just told you that it's a winning product, basically. I think that's such a great thing to note, just how powerful organic can be, especially for something that's eye-catching and unique. So it kind of does pay off to go the extra mile. And like you said, in your case, the extra mile is just like spending 3 days and maybe $1,000. So it's really not like that crazy of a investment in time commitment. But a lot of people, I think, still take that same approach that, you know, they'll spam test a million products. And I just feel like that's not going to work as well if you don't have $100,000 to test, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just not going to hit. It actually helps to put in a little more effort into each one. So for this, or in general, what do you think right now is like the best platform? Do you think Meta, or are you guys doing TikTok too?
Yeah. So at peak, let's talk about like last Q4, for example. I like I said, we were scaling to, you know, multiple hundreds of orders a day. I think our ad spend split was almost exactly 50-50. Like at peak, we were spending around $16,000 a day on TikTok, and it was roughly the same on Meta. And I think it speaks to what kind of product this is. Obviously, everyone understands that TikTok has like a younger demographic. The AOV for what you're selling on TikTok ideally should be a little lower. And so this falls like in that category. It checks all the boxes. And because of that, I think we found a lot of success on both TikTok and Meta. Whereas a brand like Canvas Freaks, where our AOV is 250, 300, I mean, we're almost exclusively on Meta and Google. Yeah.
That makes sense. And which one do you think gave you a higher return on ad spend back then, or was it kind of even?
It's so hard to say, man, because like we try to use like blended, right?
Oh yeah.
When we look at everything. And so with TikTok, like you get such cheap impressions, right? Like so many people top of funnel get to learn about your product, what it is. And a lot of times, I mean, we see these direct sales coming through and it's like, where are those coming from? Well, it's obvious, right? Like people will see you there and then they'll remember you. Maybe they'll see a retargeting ad and then there's a come directly to the website. And we attribute a lot of that to TikTok. So I feel like if you're just trying to build really high level top of funnel awareness, TikTok is a great place to go. But I don't think anything drives direct conversions the way Meta does. And that's, you know, that's at least what we believe.
Yeah, that I've found kind of the same thing, to be honest. I think that's why for me, like my big focus is just blending organic on TikTok with paid on Meta and just like really pushing that as hard as possible, because that's the only way I've found so far this year to get like a super high return on ad spend at scale. Whereas if like I'm only doing Meta ads, it's really hard to get a high return on ad spend at scale. So that's super powerful. Now, I'm curious, how does your team look like? Like, how did you start building this team to be able to do this?
No doubt.
Like, how many team members do you have now?
So I guess like at first, I guess it would make sense to kind of break down how the company is structured, right?
Sure.
So we're A3 Ventures, which is like the hold co up top. We have two main arms to the business. One is home decor fulfillment, which is like the manufacturing company, fully separated business. And then we have A3 brands, which is like all of our e-commerce brands. And they're like structured within a single corporation. And so we have like this amazing e-commerce team at the helm of A3 brands. That team consists of a retention team, so email and SMS. We have a head of growth that manages mainly paid acquisition, right? Meta, TikTok, etc., but also leads the retention team. We have a creative team as well that is like only making performance ad content all the time. And so it's almost like an internal marketing agency that services our, portfolio of brands. And so they'll try to allocate time accordingly, like, 25% to this brand, 25% to this brand, or maybe they'll skew that time input depending on seasonality and whichever brand requires it. But that's how we structured like the e-commerce team. And so and I'll say this because as of last year, we pretty much had 16 people in that e-commerce team. Moving into this year, I mean, I think we like slowed down a bit. There was a lot of overhead that we had. We reevaluated. And so we actually cut that team in half. And now it's just 8 of like stone cold killers.
Yeah.
Right. And they're amazing at what they do and they get like the job done. On the manufacturing side, again, it really varies because it depends on the time of the year, the seasonality. Right now, when it's slow, we probably have 40 full-time employees. But November, December, there's going to be like 100 people plus a day working double shifts, like open from 7 a.m. to pretty much 11, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. at night.
Wow. Well, that's impressive.